very well. And it's been doing well, precisely. But now, tuning to e-learning, how has it been?
I'll say it's been a very interesting journey. We've been around for 40 years. And the longest part of that 40 years have been through traditional means.
Okay.
Content is channeled through a printed book.
Okay.
But we've never changed what we are. We are content developers.
So how long have you been
we've been in business for over 40 years.
E-learning?
Yeah. E-learning, I would say around 3 or so years.
Okay.
But the last 1.5 years is when we've really tried to scale up our e-learning business. So we've not changed who we are. We are content developers, and we expand minds through knowledge. So we've just channeled that knowledge into a different media on the online platforms.
Because how has it been embracing the e-learning majorly to your students? I know there is those who are young and going from class 1, is there a class 1 these days?
Grade 1.
Grade 1.
Yes.
To grade number 2. Now moving from grade 1 to the next grade, is it really smooth for those students who are young to adopt e-learning?
You see, our children, we need to realize, are actually more ready for this e-learning and the use of technology than we are. If you just look at a child who's, say, about 2 years old, and look at the way they use your phone. You didn't have to teach them the password. You didn't have to teach them how the application works. They just take up your phone and probably can use it a little bit better than you as an adult. So our children are very ready for the use of e-learning and the use of technology. I think what happens is those of us who are adults are struggling with a bit of a mindset.
Shifting from what we used to know, coming to e-learning, it's not really easy for us.
Yes, but if the 2-year-old can be able to use your phone, and they are coming into kindergarten with the CBC, they're coming into kindergarten after 4 years, then what does that mean? They are more than ready. There is no problem when it comes to transition, because a child who's already in PP1 and using a tablet will happily be able to use any other gadget, any other digital gadget, and be happy to do so. So in terms of transition, no, there is actually no challenge. Our children are more than ready. And one of the things, in fact, we found that is very interesting, even as we've carried out the virtual classes, because that's what we are currently doing because of the pandemic. So we're using Zoom application. We found that our parents are the ones who we've had to kind of encourage a little bit more and say, you know, you can use this space, you know. There is an application called Zoom. This is how it's used. Now, the interesting thing is to see the children teach the parents.
Before I come to the next question on your side about is it only urban or also we are going to rural areas? That's the question I want you to answer. But also to Wahome, training your people to develop an app, how long does it take?
The skills are there in the country.
Okay.
You'll be surprised.
Okay.
What we've done is tap in the right skills from various technology companies, and also use some of the best developers in India. So we have a mix of both local consultants, local staff that we brought on board, and also expatriates who are in India. So all this is just to try and fast track the process of development.
So you're developing apps, and also we are going to find your apps on Google Play Store and?
On web. If you go
web,
to,
okay.
Yeah, so e-learning.longhorn.
That's your website. How efficient is digital learning in rural areas? Because I know your app, you want it to be downloaded by someone and followed. I don't have an internet. How do you make sure that I access this one so easily without having to struggle?
That's where partnerships come in play. We have successfully partnered with Airtel, who you can, I mean, through their network, you can access our platform at no data costs. You just need to be within the ecosystem.
Okay.
And very soon we'll be bringing in other partners who will be announcing in another 1 or 2 days. So we hope we'll get more and more telecommunication companies partnering with us to provide to zero rate the internet, so you don't have to pay any costs to access our site.
Thank you. Expansion, you want to expand maybe in your academy. You want to go to rural areas, but are you only limited to urban centers, urban centers in the country. So far I know, saying I'm in an academy that we are using an app called Zoom, someone will be like, what is that? At the rural places, you don't know what is Zoom. So are you limited only to urban places?
So I think the way to approach this is not to look at it as though there's only one solution. Zoom is just one application.
Okay.
But there are many other applications that can be used. But apart from that, I think we need to look at digital learning not only in terms of the use of the phone and the tablets. Now, we know phones are now very readily available. We know that smartphones have become more affordable. So that means the accessibility, even within the rural areas, is very possible. We know of farmers who are utilizing their phones for farming, and this is in the rural areas, it's not in the urban areas. So I think that accessibility has increased. But even for that one person who might be, in the extreme corners of Kenya, radios are still available, TVs are available. That too is e-learning.
In another way, I know today we have televisions, we have radio. I didn't know that is a way of, we can say that's e-learning. So you can learn through TV, radio,
correct,
and at the same time have a delivery. What is the success rate? I know you have your app. In my phone, I have Longhorn. I have Longhorn Publishers. That's an app. But then on the other side, I have another application. What do you do to make sure that these students are not diverting their attention to other applications?
Okay. So I think here's where Rose said the parents have a more difficult time to start trusting children with a phone. There are many ways of ensuring that the phone or the tablet that you're using cannot go to sites that would be dangerous or harmful to the kid. It's quite easy these days to lock certain apps. So those are some of the immediate measures that parents can use in order just to keep their kids glued. But also realize that as the child is wandering all around the phone, they are learning, which is the most important thing.
So long as they are moving around the phone, it's another way of learning, brain development, I believe. Integration. The CBC is more of practicals. And e-learning, we don't have someone jumping. I can't jump because it's more of a gadget. So how do you integrate CBC with e-learning?
So maybe just to add a little bit, if you can allow me to add on to what Maxwell said. Again, mindset. You will see a big gap between the younger generation, our children right now, and us who are adults. Our view when we were growing up is there are many other things that were dangerous when we were growing up. That's an aspect of parenting, as Maxwell has mentioned. A knife is dangerous, but do you stop your child from learning to use a knife? You slowly teach them and you tell them there are the dangers of using this knife. You could actually cut yourself with this knife, but that will not stop you from using that knife because you know your child eventually needs to learn to use a knife.
So the same case too.
In this day and age, it is inevitable for us to teach our children about digital learning. If we as parents overprotect them and say we will not teach them, what you're doing is a disservice to this child because the world of work that they will live in is not the world of work that we are living in now. So what you're doing is denying that child a skill that they will need later on in life by being overprotective.
Yes.
I think our mindset and our view needs to change, and I think what we need to say is, this is a good tool, but it can also harm you. This is what can harm you, this is what can harm you. Will they try out a little bit? Yes. Did we cut our fingers when we were learning to cut skooma?
We did,
yes.
Kidogo.
But now we know how to cut skooma without cutting our fingers.
So stop.
In the same way,
Parents, you stop being paranoid.
Train. You've got to get involved as a parent. You cannot leave it to chance. You cannot allow Google or the social media to train your child. Train and keep talking about and saying this is good, this is not good, this is how you're going to mess that up. Now to your question about CBC and integrating digital learning with CBC. There are so many ways in which this is possible. The teacher can use e-learning to be able to enhance their teaching. So let's say, for example, you've picked a topic. You can go online, maybe download a video that you feel is relevant to your child. Instead of going to physically visit a place, you can actually decide to come with pictures of this place. Maybe it's in another country or another continent, and you can utilize these in your class. You can utilize e-learning in terms of giving assignments. When you give assignments, you can ask a child to go and research on a topic before they actually come into the class. You know, like reading ahead in class. So your child is reading ahead, but now they're using whatever is online to be able to access. And even learning in class, you are able to utilize either PowerPoint presentation, teach your children how to use a PowerPoint presentation. So I think the opportunities are endless in ways in which you can be able to combine and utilize digital learning in the CBC space.
Let me take from where you've said teaching the children to do some parts in e-learning. How long is the process of training them to adopt the use of e-learning?
Again, because their attitude is so different from ours, their speed is a lot higher because they are not impeded by a negative view. They are excited about it. The minute you walk into class and you say, or you pull out your tablets during the lesson, as compared to the traditional way, the impact is obviously they're excited about it. So their speed is a lot faster than ours as adults. So in terms of speed, no, there is no stopping these children. In fact, now you would kind of have to slow them down a little bit because they're excited about this and they're excited about that and say, okay, let's utilize this at another time or let's focus on this. So our children are, as I said earlier,
they are quick too.
More than ready.
Okay. Wahome. I want to use Wahome. I guess I grasped that first than the other name. So I know you're developing syllabus every time. So whenever you're developing this syllabus, are you more of focusing on CBC to fit e-learning?
So what actually happens is the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development.
And also you tell me who vets, who says this is now good.
So the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, which I'll call KICD, is the body that regulates the content. Publishers develop content based on the guidelines that have been set by KICD. So what we do is we work from the curriculum designs and build content from the curriculum designs. So for example, if the design say the child by this time should be able to know the directions to their home. So using that, you create content that would enable a child interact with a device to find their home. So that is the process of content development. You still have to go back to the designs provided by the regulator.
Na mpenzi mtazamaji, unaendelea kutazama runinga ya TV47. Uko na mimi Emmanuel Terrer na siko peke yangu leo, ni naye wageni wangu Rose Koros ambaye ni mkurugenzi mkuu katika Diamond Academy, na vile vile Maxwell Wahome ambaye ni afisa mkuu mtendaji katika matiba ya Longhorn Publishers. Swali lingine ambalo nataka kuuliza labda kwako au Koros. Serikali wakati huo announced that we are shifting and bringing in tablets for young children. But we haven't seen this one taking center stage.
Well, from what I know, the tablets are available to a number of schools. I think the challenge came about, and the gap is the training of the teachers. Digital literacy needs to start with the teachers because you cannot give what you don't have. So if the teachers are struggling with digital literacy, then the children will also struggle. Okay. And because we live in African culture that does not quite, I think we struggle with the fact that a child can actually lead their own learning. Because if these gadgets were actually availed to our children, and we as teachers were okay with a child actually saying, you know, this is how this actually works, I think we would have moved a little bit further. But I think what may have happened, I could be wrong with this, but I think what could have happened is these gadgets are available in the public schools, but they're probably locked up in a safe room, somewhere very safe, and therefore they are not accessed by the students. And also the reason why they are kept very safely is because we are not giving guidelines maybe to the teachers and say, these gadgets are available and these are the guidelines for using them. If I can compare with what has happened with the CBC was very new to us. But the amount of training that the government has put in terms of CBC has enabled us to jump that hurdle. And now we are able to implement it in our schools. I think if the same amount of effort was put in to digital learning, I am sure these gadgets will be used. And I commend the government for that effort in and attempting to ensure that they see that every learner gets a gadget. I think it's a good move. Now we need to take the next step.
What is your opinion, Wahome, on that? What do you think? Can we do a lot of training for our teachers?
Yes, we should. I think back in 2013 when the government rolled out the one laptop per child, people thought that was not a good idea. But now looking at the current situation, you see they had seen ahead of time.
Correct.
We were just too skeptical about it. So we should go back to still that program. Train the teachers. The 1 million laptops are probably, as Will said, they're probably very, very safe. Now think about the next step. How do we build in content? How do we plug in the infrastructure around? Fiber connection is in almost all parts of the country. I think all parts of the country, as far as Turkana, is fiber. So it's not an issue of infrastructure. It's now moving to the next step and saying, how do we ensure that the right content is in this tablet, the teacher is trained, and they know how to integrate that with the curriculum.
You talked of something behind cameras, that you are having partnership with some companies. For me, for instance, I'm in the rural area and I want to access the app. So which company are you partnering with for easy accessibility of the app?
For now, we are working with Airtel, and we are open to work with anybody. Because for us the most important thing is accessibility. If we can get our content to be accessed by as many people as possible, that's the winner. We need to change the mindset by bringing the content closer.
How has Kenya performed with e-learning so far?
I think we've made a good start, and as a result of the pandemic, it has accelerated our
So for you, the coronavirus
learning.
is more of it's okay. God forbid, it's on your side. It's working well.
Let me say that I think in every cloud there's a silver lining. So this might be a small bit of the silver. This is a big cloud for us. It's a dark one, but we can also look at some of the gains that we have had. Parents are spending more time with their children and getting to know their children more, which they didn't know before. They're having to get engaged, as we talked about in CBC. So we can look at this as a silver lining. So to your question, you had asked about the performance of digital learning. So I would say, I think previously to the pandemic, it was probably mostly utilized in
Urban.
Yes, in urban centers, and also mainly in schools that offer the international curriculum, like the British curriculum and the American, and some 844 schools. But I think right now that has now, CBC, first of all, has encouraged the growth in that. But I think we will see a greater growth, I think, as a result of this unfortunate time that we're going through.
We are going to beat this one big time.
Yes, we will.
I know Kenya is strong, as Uhuru normally says. Wahome, creating content has not been easy for some people. How has it been for you, and for you to always continue maintaining the content without having to divert to other things? As a student who is watching, I want to follow e-learning, but I don't want to divert to other things. How has it been for you to develop content that is really curriculum based?
So the first thing, we've tried to stick to the guidelines of the curriculum as far as possible. But we've also been collecting a lot of feedback from our customers, and that's the most important thing. You could deliver a certain message in a very different way and keep your audience engaged. So for us, customer feedback is the most important thing. Even during this time, we're using this period to also collect feedback on how we can improve on that content. So it's a continuous journey.
Is it easy to sell compared to hard copies and e-learning?
the mindset, because it's a new mindset, it's a bit difficult to convince somebody that you can still get whatever you had in the book in here, and even better, a better interactivity and better experience. So I think it's something that will continuously improve as we...
So to create the awareness, what do you do?
We are engaging people on social media. We are also engaging teachers. We have access to so many teachers, the ones that we've been serving for all this time. And with people like Rose, we're also talking to school directors and proprietors and telling them the benefit. The most important thing is showing the value that this new way or new channel is going to provide them.
I know, kwa sababu ya muda mpenzi mtazamaji, nataka kuchukua kauli zao za mwisho ili nasi tutihatimishe shughuli hii nzima. Kuanzia asubuhi tumeingia hapa saa 12, lakini kwanza kabla tuende tukamilishe, nataka maoni yao ya mwisho kuhusiana na e-learning. Kuna kumbana na changamoto gani, challenges ambazo uko nazo, kisha baadaye kuna mtu anakuona nyumbani. They want to know how to use this app softly, smoothly, transitioning from one book to another without kupitia changamoto. I don't know which camera precise. Guess this one is yours. Tumia hii. Zungumza na mtu uko nyumbani anataka kufuatilia e-learning.
So I'd like to encourage all that are at home, and especially with the parents, because we're going to need parental engagement in this. There are many applications. The different schools may have used different applications. There are some that are using Google Classroom, and there are others that are probably using Zoom or even Longhorn and other apps that are available. I think my encouragement to us is you do not, even if you don't have a tablet, smartphones are now more accessible and they are more affordable. You would be able to utilize a smartphone for your child. If this is not available, then log on to the radio programs. There are radio programs that have been prepared by KICD. There are now TV programs. There is the Edu channel. So I think learning can go on at home. And then remember, there are also textbooks that now, digital textbooks, so that now they are available. There are lots of platforms available, parents out there. Please don't feel stuck. I know some of us as parents are feeling frustrated. I have my child at home. What do I do? Again, mindset parents, we can look at this as a great opportunity to get to know your child a little bit better. And please remember, there are many resources available for you. Don't feel frustrated. Reach out. There are opportunities for us parents, and there are tools for us that we can utilize at home. And maybe just one last comment. Make a timetable for your child, just like they have in school. Make a timetable at home and tell them, this is the time you wake up, this is the time you study, and this is what I expect of you. And then this is the time you play. And I think that might be helpful because your children are used to a routine. So why don't you make one at home?
Wahome, it's your turn, but before you talk to someone at home directly, I want to ask this question. How are we going to ensure there is concentration?
Concentration, now there's a concept called micro-learning. Don't bombard the child with so many things at once. There's only so much somebody can be able to grasp at a short period of time, especially when you're in a different setup. A home setup is very different from a school setup. So these small bits of micro-learning is what parents need to incorporate even in the home timetable that Rose is talking about. Let's not think of it exactly like a classroom setting.
This is your camera. Talk to someone who is watching you.
Thank you very much. I think it's a difficult time for everybody, parents, myself being one, and we're all struggling with just knowing how do we keep our kids engaged. There are many resources available. One, there's the Longhorn has provided an e-learning platform that is free of charge. If you're on the Airtel network, it's free of any internet costs, and many partners will be joining on board. So you can access our content at elearning.longhornpublishers.com. And there are also other channels where you can get free ebooks. All the publishers in Kenya have put all their content on the Kenya Education Cloud. So if you Google Kenya Education Cloud, you can be able to access all the books for free. So there are many resources at hand. Let's try be more involved in a child's learning. Let's not give up. Let's look at the silver lining, which will be new trends or new ways of delivering content or learning at home. So we are with you throughout.
Thank you very much. Asante sana mpenzi mtazamaji. Huyo amekuwa ni Rose Koros ambaye ni mkurugenzi wa Akademi ya Diamond. Nashukuru sana kwa kuja asubuhi ya leo Biros, na vile vile afisa mkuu mtendaji wa matiba ya Longhorn Maxwell Wahome. Naamini kwamba kama wewe ni mwanafunzi huko nyumbani na nafasi bomba ya kupata kusoma huwa inakukwepa, ndio hii sasa kupitia e-learning mitandao. Ingia, jitafutie nafasi na udadafue yale ambayo kwayo yameandaliwa kule ndani. Lakini kumbuka kwamba baada ya hapa runinga ya TV47 kwa ushirikiano mkubwa sana na chuo cha MKU itakuletea muhadhara kupitia kiwambo chake cha runinga ya TV47, na vile vile naarifiwa na mwelekezi wangu kwamba kuna ratiba ya masomo ambayo itawekwa moja kwa moja katika kiwambo. Asante sana. Ndivyo hivyo hali ilivyo. Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, Media and Extension Broadcast School Timetable 2020. Wewe mwenyewe utapata nafasi ya kufahamu kuna nini aswa kuhusiana na hii kupitia redio. Itakuja moja kwa moja kupitia mitabende ya, ikiwa Nairobi ni mitabende 91.9, Nyeri vile vile 87.6, Nyambene Central kupitia 90.4, Lodwar 88.3, Marsabit 66.7.5 kunradhi, Maralal 100.7, Garissa ni 567 media wave, na vile vile Wajia 1152, na vile vile Mombasa 101.8. Mpenzi mtazamaji, asante sana kwa kujiunga nasi tangu asubuhi saa 12 hadi sasa tunakamilisha. Usibonyeze kibonyonyo, salia na runinga ya TV47. Kwa wale wote waliofanikisha makala haya wakiwemo wapiga picha Ses, vile vile Kedo na Winnie Maganga, mwelekezi Emmanuel Inonda, Mary Wamboi Gitao, na vile vile Kolo amekuwepo kwa graphics. Pato wamehakikisha mitambo yote inakwenda sawa, na sauti Papa Kazungu. Asante sana. MCR Simon anahakikisha kila kitu inakwenda sawa. Kila laheri. Kesho jiunge nasi vile vile tudadavue masuala mengi kutoka katika runinga ya TV47. Jina langu ni Emmanuel Terer. Si alamsik, bado ni asubuhi Kila laheri, masalam, Mwenyezi Mungu asalie nawe. Kwepa kushika uso na wa mikono, na vile vile usipeleke mikono yako katika uso wako, macho, mapua, vile vile midomo na masikio. Naondoka. Kila laheri.